advantages of just small things, like Max said, not seeing the angle his medevac drops were entering from.
You know, it's funny, I got a chance to talk to Edison, Maxed's manager, and he was saying that unfortunately he doesn't get a lot of uses with high Templars because of such the high ping. But you know, it's really unfortunate that, you know, losing the Stargate and then going into a composition that you're not really comfortable with, that can definitely affect you. But now we're going to move on to our next match, Heart versus Hero. Two phenomenal players, a Terran versus Protoss. Let's head into the match. All right, spawning on Yansu, the top right-hand corner. It is the blue Terran Axiom's Heart. And over here, spawning the bottom left, the red Terran, the liquid player, who's WCS Season 1 winner. It is Hero! So this is a match where obviously both these players have tons of accolades behind their back. They really know how to play this game. We can even say that Hart had 3 winning scenarios against Polt in his last series in the round of 8. Hero, we know for him to be a champion, DreamHack winner, NASL winner, WCS winner. But both of them have a problem with nerves and emotions, I think. We've seen Hart kind of falter a little bit against the nerves, especially against Jaedong in his round of 16 matches. And of course, Hero, I think nerves and emotions has always been one of the big factors that goes against him. How do you think both these players move out into this upcoming series?
Well, they just have to try to focus as much as they can. They know what's on the line here, and just play their best StarCraft 2. There's not too much you can do about getting over the nerves right on the spot. You can try to think of it as though you're not playing against a specific player, you're just playing against the race. And that's something a lot of players would do.
Is there ever a snowball chance, especially with nerves, because I know you've had the chance to be on the competitive scene a lot. Is there ever a possibility where, you know, you just have one loss against a player that you really don't think you should lose to, or you really didn't want to lose to, and that just gets out of hand, you just start losing and losing and losing?
Definitely, it depends on the player, but some players will go on tilt after they lose 1 or 2 games, and they'll just play much worse after that. I'm not sure about how these players go on tilt. I know nerves are an issue, but going on tilt is something that's a little bit different. I don't know what you think about that.
I think these two players kind of control themselves enough not to go on tilt, but they almost internalize their problems, not ragefully, but I guess sadfully. And that can actually affect your energy as you move forward. And of course, you need a lot of energy in this game to keep up with multitasking, keep up with your opponents, and especially a player like Hart, who's so, I would say, multitask for focused, and Hero, who is, I would say, multi-pronged focused.
Yeah, Hero as a player likes to always outplay his opponent. He likes to take wins by doing a lot of things and taking small advantages. He'll proxy pylons and use a ward prism earlier in the game than a lot of other Protoss players, and try to do little bits of damage here and slowly get an advantage, and then just control a better army in the mid to late game.
And that's something that he said he likes to do 1,000 swipes before the big battle actually happens. That way he's chunking the armor, and when he goes to swing, everything just gets obliterated. Here we can see, though, Hart doing some nice micro with his first Reaper, able to take out one probe. That's kind of uncharacteristic of Hero, I would say, but great micro coming out from Hart. But look at this. Proxy pylon all the way on the other side. Starport going down. And this is very scary if I'm the Terran player.
Definitely. A lot of this is going to depend on where the Marines are positioned, because this is earlier than Hart will be expecting an Oracle coming out of the Protoss player. So if Hart doesn't have those Marines in his main base when the Oracle comes in, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And you don't have to kill that many SCVs for this proxy Oracle to pay off. You kill 5-6 workers and it's even. And if he's not ready for this, he could lose a lot more than that.
And 5-6 SCVs, that's like, what, 1-2 seconds for an Oracle?
That's not long for an Oracle.
I mean, Oracle is what we're trying to say is they kill workers incredibly fast. Now, here is the big X factor that goes into it, the Reaper in the early stages. This is going to give Hart indicators of what's to come. If this Reaper is able to get in and see, oh, there's no tech yet, he can really do something. But great job with the 2 Stalkers being able to deny that. if you see a robo or no robo back here, if you see no 2 gateways, you're like, wait, something is up. I have to be very careful. But right now...
Oh, but Hart knows, he apparently knows this timing. He has Marines going back into his main base, and they're positioned perfectly to deal with this Oracle. But Hart, or Hero, he's waiting for more than 1 Oracle. He's waiting for 2, and I like this a lot. We see Terran players almost always put 5 to 6 Marines in their mineral line. And that's just the amount you need to deal with 1 Oracle, but 2 Oracles can shut that down easily.
That escalates very fast here. Now, a Time Warp can be used to trap a lot of these Marines. The Oracles are not going to swing in just yet. Here they come, as they are ready. Time Warp is going to go down here. And the Oracles, oh, great, second Time Warp, and this is going to just obliterate most of the Marines. They get evaporated in a blink of an eye, and he's just going to back up from here. Oracle's barely alive, but they are alive. That's going to help a little bit later on. I mean, the damage has been done, but now damage is kind of guaranteed a little bit later on as well.
Yeah, I think he could have done a lot more damage if he flew straight for the mineral line of his opponent, Hart, in that situation. But still, it's not bad. Killing Marines is always useful because it limits Hart's aggressive potential in the early mid-game, and he didn't lose any of these Oracles. So now Hart will either have to build missile turrets in his mineral lines or not move out.
The big question is, are Oracles actually good in the mid-game, late-game stages?
They're not too good, but it's going to force him to spend money on missile turrets in his mineral line, or leave Marines there, because if he moves out without either of those, they can fly in and kill a bunch of SCVs.
That's right, so it's just going to limit the, I guess, movement on the map in the early mid-game stages, and that's normally a time where Protoss is so scared of an attack. That's why they get a lot of units. They try to get the money units, the Colossus and stuff like that, but Hero just saying, hey, let's get our armor upgrade really quick. Let's get charged. And I've seen this a couple of times where you just get very fast. It's like 5 to 8 gateways in the beginning stage to kind of defend yourself against any shenanigans. You take a quick third base, and from there, you're able to play a macro game. And what's so good about High Templars is that High Templars are always good to make. The requirement to kill them is ghosts. And it's always good to get ghosts, but it's never good to get Vikings just blindly. So if I can tech to Colossus whenever I want, you could be either not prepared against Colossus, or you could be making too many Vikings or not enough Vikings. There's so many opportunities for Hero just in the build to overcome whatever composition his opponent has.
And I think the longer this game goes, the better it will get for Hero.
Yeah.
Hart as a player than the TVP matchup likes to stick on a low level of upgrades, take a third base late a lot of the time, and try to apply a lot of pressure before teching to that ghost.
Well, right now, Hero is going to be significantly hindered now. Losing one of the Oracles puts him in a position where he has to rethink on how he defends. But charge is on the way. You can see 4 gateways up. Are there any more? A 5th gateway being added. That's like the bare minimum. And here we can see additional 2 gateways that are going down. You just need to keep up with your opponent, especially if they are going well, what we've seen from Hart previously, 5 to 7 barracks before 3rd Command Center. But that's not what he's doing. He's changing it up as well.
Yep, he does have a quick 3rd Command Center in this game. It's quite unusual for Hart in this matchup, but I like it, because Hero will know how Hart plays and be playing somewhat to combat that.
Yeah, and that's so clever. I really like that. The Marines now moving forward, and they're just poking, trying to get a little damage off. But I think all you have to do really is feed back the 2 medevacs, and from there, you're not going to be constantly stimming. Those charge lots will be able to connect. Your kiting will be a lot less effective, and from there, you can just back the Terran off and say, do not come.
And I like the photon cannon placement here by Hero at the natural. It prevents a lot of what Hart can do, just stimming a couple units forward and sending them to snipe a High Templar, because you have that added DPS from the photon cannon.
Yeah. And you know what? The photon cannon actually is, I think, one of the most underutilized unit in the early stages. Normally people just say, oh, it's not worth it, but a lot of times against all-ins, it can be very useful, and against pressure, it just gives you a couple, 5-10 seconds before your opponents actually go through something of actual use, right? Probes, Nexi, pylons, things like that. So it's definitely something that you have to keep in mind.
And Hart's played this game out so well so far. Now securing his 3rd base, he also has teched into Ghost while this is going on. So I think he's in a good position to deal with what Hero is on the field now. A
perfect transition. Here's the thing, though. When you start out with High Templars and you're reacting with Ghosts, there are always going to be more High Templars than Ghosts out. That's just a fact. So you're not going to be able to snipe and do what you really want to optimally do to help this push out. you have to rely more on EMPs and good spreads in the beginning stage. So still, Hero has the ability to defend against all of these all-ins. There shouldn't be any timings, although this is what allows for the timings. This switch into Colossus will give the small timing where he won't have as many High Templars, and that's when, you know, Hart has equal count and he can actually start to penetrate through the defense.
Yeah, Hero does have a lot of High Templar in the field, which I like, because as long as he has at least maybe 4 to 5 Sty Storms, it's going to be really tough for Hart to push into him.
And this is honestly an unmanageable situation for only 3 Ghosts. The scan will go down. Will he get the EMPs? He starts one good one. Feedbacks go off, and that's going to be end of the attack. Great time warp on top of the whole unit. A combination storm that deals extra damage, forcing Hart back. A great defense, a stunning hold by our Protoss player Hero.
A perfect hold by Hero there. He lost basically nothing and pushed him back without even using many storms from his High Templar.
Yeah.
He still has a ton of High Templar energy, and he took out the Ghost as well.
And this is what I was talking about before. Look at how many Vikings are in production right now. 0. Look at how many upgrades are up for the Vikings. 0. This is all going to help Hero. If he went from Colossus to High Templars, well, the natural inclination is to go Vikings to Ghost, but you don't normally say, hey, let's go Ghost to Vikings. The Vikings don't help out until you know Colossus are out. Now, again, Hart is in a situation, not only is he reacting to upgrades, he's reacting to the Colossus. That's a lot of gas to be stressing all around, and that gives Hero the initiative.
Triple medevac drop going down to Hero's main base though, and he didn't react to this quickly enough. He lost that High Templar with only 1 storm, and he didn't use any feedbacks either, and 2 of these medevacs would have died to a feedback in this situation.
But you can definitely see the plus armor against the +1 weapons, only +1 weapons that is. 5 additional Zealots are going to be warped in. In the meantime, the 3rd base is being ravaged. There's another warping going into the main base, and there is a retreat in the middle of the map. Man, there are attacks all over the place by these 2 players.
Hero getting the better end of this, however, and some signature play from Hero using the Warp Prism to harass on one side of the map and harassing at the other side, and in the natural as well as Zealots.
Yeah, finally clearing out the main base. This is, as you said, great play coming out from here, patented play by Hero, and he's just outplaying his opponent. That's what it comes down to. We're going to take a look. Units lost tab, a severe amount of units lost over Hero for Hart, of course. If we look at the workers' kills, let's take a look at that. 26 workers killed. The income tag is going to reflect that in large margins. A great job done by Hero so far.
Also, some small economy mismanagement by Hart. I think he dropped a few too many meals in his main base, which is almost mined out at this point.
Wow, yeah,
so
you're right.
That's not what you want to do in TVP.
Let's take a look at the upgrades. +3 armor against 1-1. So a big advantage out for Hero, obviously. Not only has the +3 armor over the +1 attack, but also the +2 attack. So he always maintains that sturdiness in his army. Can he get the DPS though? Can he get the damage, the raw damage, to be able to crush this force? We're going to find out right now as Hero moves down this ramp, or not Hero, Hart moves down this ramp.
Well, Hart has to make a lot happen with not that many units, because Hero has a much better army than him right now. There's a lot of High Templar. There's Colossi on the field. There's barely any Vikings from Hart. I'm not sure what Hart can do to get back into this game.
I don't know. It's tough. This one Zealot just swiping away.
And this basically puts Hart in a 1-base economy until he can shut this down and resume mining.
Yeah, I'm just at a loss right now. It's difficult. It came down to that. Double feedback.
And he just calls the GG.
Yeah, that's the momentum change, and he knew Hero was just so far ahead. He's behind in upgrades at that point. He's behind in everything, honestly. And Hero was just looking so good going into that mid-game stage. He had the Colossus tech. Hart didn't have the Vikings up. Everything was played well, shutting down the 3rd base. The list goes on.